Chapter 61, Oh my dear grandson. Ning Xi slipped away and ran to the washroom behind her. She dove into a cubicle and opened a large, black duffel bag. She pulled out her tools and started to put on makeup. When she came out from the washroom, Ning Xi had already turned into a white-haired old lady. The ringtone for a text message notification sounded on her phone. Ning Xi pulled out her phone to look, and it was indeed from Zhang Wei. Corrupted Devil King, Ning Xi. I'm giving you 5 minutes to appear in front of me, or I'm going to announce our relationship. Damn it! Ning Xi checked her makeup for one last time, then hurriedly ran to the most packed area of the crowd. Pub Future Ads. She put on an expression of helplessness and anxiety and coughed twice. Please let me pass, excuse me. My dear kind girls, could you let this old lady look at a yet? Ah! Don't push. There's a very old lady here. Grandmother, why do you want to see Armwei? Don't tell me you're Armwei's fan too. Oh my goodness! Armwei attracts young and old. He even has a grandmother fan. Everyone, quick, let this grandmother pass. Grandmother, how old are you? Ning Xi stooped over and beat on the small of her back, thanking them continuously. Dear girls, thank you all. I'm already 80. I like this little fellow a lot, because he looks especially like my grandson. My grandson is currently working in a place very far away, I only get to see him a few times a year. After saying so, she started to wipe away tears. Mwie! Mwie! You have a grandmother fan here. Please meet her. Yeah, please meet her at least once. She's quite pitiful. Pub Future Ads. Pub Future Ads. With the enthusiastic support from the fans, Ning Xi was quickly pushed to the front. At the center of the crowd, Zhang Wei used his fingers to comb back his unruly blonde hair. He took off his sunglasses and a trace of suspicion flashed across his handsome face. A grandmother fan? Yes, yes. She's almost 80. She came specially to the airport on such a hot day just to meet you. She said she really likes you because you look like her grandson, who's working overseas. As the fans finished speaking, Zhang Wei followed the path that the crowd had opened up, and spotted a wrinkled old lady wearing tatty coarse clothes, holding onto a cane. Zhang Wei's expression instantly became extremely warped. The F. He used the last of his reason to hold back the rest of the curse, and glared at that old lady as if he wanted to strangle her to death. Of course, this all happened within a second, so the fans didn't detect his abnormality. Ah, my grandson, my good grandson. Grandma misses you so much. Ning Xi fell onto Zhang Wei with a sudden stride forward. She ruffled his hair messily, crying like she had a broken heart. Everyone at the scene watched this warm and touching moment, and they followed along crying like the rain. The media's shutter sounds also fired off constantly. Ning Xi. You just wait till tonight. Zhang Wei gritted his teeth as he whispered into her ear. Ah, my grandson, my dear grandson. Why have you become so thin? Grandma's heart hurts for you. Ning Xi was really into the act. The hair that Zhang Wei was most vain about had already been ruffled into a bird's nest. Seeing that Zhang Wei was close to letting go of his anger and was about to explode, his manager, Lei Ming, came out to help him out of trouble. Everyone, please give way. This grandmother got a little too emotional and her body seems rather weak, so we're going to help send her home. Zhang Wei kept up a warm and caring expression, but pinched a certain someone's hand viciously in secret, and quickly left the airport. Chapter 62, Come, kiss me here. Inside the black minivan. My good grandson, do you know where Granny lives? Ning Xi, try calling me grandson again. Grandsoon. So what if I call you that? I'm going to have it out with you. Come at me. I was still worried you wouldn't dare to. Ah! This damned woman, you're really hitting me. The back seat rocked with clatters and commotion, and the manager, Lei Ming, driving in the front was completely speechless. "Wei, I told you you wouldn't be able to outplay her, but you wouldn't believe me. Are you happy now? Tomorrow's headline is going to change from Hot Chick Picks Zhang Wei up from the airport to Old Lady Picks Zhang Wei up from the airport." Zhang Wei, who was currently being pinned down by Ning Xi, was flustered and exasperated. "Shut up." Lei Ming looked at the battlefield in the back seat from the rear-view mirror, and his mouth twitched as his head was filled with sweat drops. "Ning Xi, could you go easier on him? Take it that I'm pleading you. He has to film a movie, a commercial and a special magazine feature this month. I know, Ming Ji, I won't hit his face. You better stop squirming about." At this point, Zhang Wei had completely lost the handsome and elegant image he had at the airport. He was currently handcuffed by both hands and pressed down on the car seat. He looked like he had been ravaged. "Ning Xi, you forced me to do this." Ning Xi was still happily beating him up, but Zhang Wei abruptly used his cuffed hands to wrap around the back of her neck and pulled her down with him. Seeing that handsome face close up so suddenly, Ning Xi subconsciously backed away and raised her head, a carefree smile on her face. "What, you're going to use your beauty since you can't beat me?" Just as he was about to kiss her lips, Zhang Wei abruptly turned away. "You erg." "Ha ha 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 ha," Ning Xi laughed until she had to hold her stomach and curled up. "Come try it again. Kiss me here. Isn't Granny's makeup so pretty today?" Looking at Ning Xi's wrinkled and pockmarked face, Zhang Wei laid there like a dead fish, as if he had lost all interest in life. Ning Xi finally finished laughing and panted for breath as she sat up. "What's wrong? You're really angry? Who made you try to trap me first? You're not going to let me take revenge. Bastard, we haven't met in so long, can't you miss me just a little bit? You actually beat me up when we finally met again." Zhang Wei glared at her with anger, and even a trace of grievance in the depths of his pupils. Ning Xi smiled. "Of course I did. Didn't I say it at the airport? Granny misses you." Pub future ads. To prevent himself from dying from excessive anger, Zhang Wei finally gave up communicating with her. He raised his handcuffed hands and said in a rage, "Why haven't you untied me yet? Where the heck did you get these handcuffs? These are prohibited items in China, aren't they?" Ning Xi rubbed her chin. Well, it seems like I bought it from a sex goods shop on Doubao. It was 20% off, it only cost $9.90. Zhang Wei. Lei Ming. Worried that the two of them were going to fight again, Lei Ming hurriedly changed the topic. "We've already left the reporters and fans behind, where are we going now?" Zhang Wei pulled out a hand mirror to rescue his hair. Upon hearing his manager's words, he didn't even raise his head as he said, "Go back to my residence in the city outskirts." Ning Xi immediately sat up, "Then let me down by the roadside, I'll take a cab home." "Hat, did you think you could run away tonight? I'll see where you try to run." Zhang Wei gritted his teeth sinisterly and locked the car doors tight. Ning Xi sweat dropped. She knew that this would happen. On the road, as they continued driving, Ning Xi felt that something wasn't right. Why was this road so familiar? "Mr. Rich Boy Zhang, you have properties in Beijing? That property wouldn't happen to be in Platinum Palace, would it?" Ning Xi tried asking. Zhang Wei harumphed, "It is, so what? Suddenly thinking of hugging my big leg? It's too late, I tell you. Unless you call me grandfather." Ning Xi was a little despondent. It can't be such a coincidence that Zhang Wei's residence was also at Platinum Palace? For some reason, blaring alarms started sounding off in her mind, giving her an unpleasant premonition. Chapter 63, 300 Rounds of War. As the car drove through the main gates, Ning Xi casually asked, "Zhang Wei, which one do you live in?" "Number 6. Ning Xi was a little scared upon hearing so, it was actually number 6. Platinum Palace was split into several tiers. The best one was undoubtedly number 8, where evil demon King Lu stayed. There was a lake and garden at the back, and even a personal golf course. It took up the most land area. The next one was Lu Jingli's residence, number 7, and on the same tier was number 6. No one had known who the owner of number 6 was. Who would have thought that it would be this fellow, Zhang Wei? Seeing that Lei Ming was about to turn right, Ning Xi subconsciously opened her mouth to remind him, "Ah, Ming Ji, don't drive that way, that road's blocked." "How do you know that road's blocked?" Zhang Wei immediately asked. Ning Xi's heart thumped, but she acted calm on the surface and rolled her eyes at him. "Didn't you see the warning sign there? Actually, that road had been smashed up by a drunk driving rich heir, and she had seen it herself yesterday." Zhang Wei glanced at the road under maintenance sign by the roadside and made a sound of agreement. Ning Xi secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Although she had legitimate reasons for staying at Lu Tingxiao's, explaining it would be troublesome, plus it would be so hard to maintain her innocence. Why not save on trouble where she could? When they reached their destination, Ning Xi's face was full of hidden bitterness. She really wanted to sneak home and hug little treasure. Lei Ming got down and asked Mui, "Someone has been keeping this place clean, so you can just move in directly. See if you want to stay here or move into the apartment the company has arranged. If you want to stay here, it might be a little inconvenient to commute here and back." Ning Xi was thinking in her heart, "Please don't stay here. What if we meet each other someday? Pub future ads. I'll think about it and let you know later." Zhang Wei waved him away impatiently, casting an urging look at Lei Ming. Lei Ming sighed before looking at the two of them. He couldn't seem to stop worrying as he nagged, "Both of you, don't sleep too late. Mui, don't forget you still have that event tomorrow." I know. Zhang Wei just ignored him, and then pulled Ning Xi along like a bandit as he slipped inside the house. Lei Ming, he had already lost all hope that these two would be able to get up in the morning. After entering the house, Zhang Wei counted on his fingers as if he was getting ready for war. "Don't listen to Ming Ji's nonsense. Ning Xi, tonight you have to accompany me for 300 rounds of war. I want to see if I can't kill you today." Ning Xi cast a sidelong glance at him with disdain. "Hee, then come at me. You've suffered so many defeats under my hand and you still dare to spout such boasts. I'll make you call me Granny. In your dreams. You're gonna be the one calling me Grandpa." Zhang Wei buried his head in his giant luggage and rummaged about. "I brought back the latest setup from overseas, you're profiting from this." After saying so, he turned to her as if she were a spectacle too horrible to endure. "You! Hurry up and go wash all that off, you're piercing my eyes here. Are you trying to use this to lower my battle spirit? Shameless! I'm not going to admit my losses, I'm telling you. Lower my ass, I should be lowering my own skills. Do you think I enjoy this disguise?" Ning Xi pulled off the heavy wig on her head and unbuttoned her collar. This was practically abusing herself while trying to hurt the enemy. Zhang Wei switched on the widescreen TV in the living room and started to connect the cables. "I have clothes in my room, look for one that fits you yourself. Hurry up, hurry up. My battle spirit is already so hungry it's difficult to hold it back." Ning Xi stared at his excited appearance speechlessly. Other people would find some hot chick to bang once they returned to their home country, but this guy, he was dragging her to play games with him by hook or by crook, even wanting her to play through the night. He was totally crazy. Chapter 64, A Visitor in the Night. Zhang Wei set up the game with a practiced hand, and even dug out a few packs of fruit jelly, potato chips and dried fish from who knows where. While humming, he brought out a bottle of good wine from his wine cellar. When all preparations were done, he sat cross-legged on the floor, and just as he was rolling up his sleeves and preparing to try out the game, the doorbell outside rang. Zhang Wei's face immediately darkened, but he didn't open the door. With a fiery temper, he called Lei Ming, "Stop ringing. I'll get there on time tomorrow, okay? You keep calling me back and forth like some animal, I can't even play a game, do you believe that I'll just quit right now?" "Ah? What ringing are you talking about?" After getting shouted at for a long while, Lei Ming was utterly confused. Zhang Huiye immediately choked on his rant, "You're not the one outside ringing my doorbell. I'm already far away. In fact, I'm still driving." Lei Ming was completely innocent. "Then who could it be?" "Not many people know that I live here," Zhang Huiye mumbled suspiciously. "It can't be that your address has been leaked? Be careful, don't open the door recklessly, what if it's the media? Ning Xi is still over there." Lei Ming immediately warned. Zhang Huiye scoffed and replied without a care, "So what if it's the media? What's going to happen even if they see her?" Lei Ming was helpless. "Huiye, I'm not trying to lecture you. Even if you're trying to help her out of good intentions, the other party has to accept it. Ning Xi has already said she doesn't want to get on your pirate ship." Zhang Huiye immediately flared up, "What pirate ship? Who are you calling a pirate ship?" The doorbell continued ringing. It rang once every 5 seconds, following a strict pattern. "I'm not talking to you anymore, I'm going to open the door. Who could be visiting me at this late hour?" Zhang Huiye hung up and walked towards the living room impatiently. Zhang Huiye specially looked at the CCTV to check who it was outside. The result, he was struck dumb and looked as if he had seen a ghost. Pub future ads. "Oh my god! It's Liu Tingxiao. Why is he here?" At the main entrance, the man was wearing grey casual clothes and slippers holding something in his hands. Although he was dressed so casually, Zhang Huiye could somehow feel a cold wind blowing from the tundra onto the back of his neck. It even sent shivers up his spine. Zhang Huiye was so panicked that he felt like running around in circles, like a bunny that had seen a wolf. It was only when the doorbell rang 2 more times that he took a deep breath and opened the door. In the instant the door opened, the sloppy attitude from before had completely changed into a cautiously respectful manner. How come you're here?" "I came to see you." The man replied expressionlessly. "Oh, please come in." "Come in," Zhang Huiye quickly invited him in. Liu Tingxiao's gaze casually swept over the game controllers on the floor, snacks and wine, then sat on the sofa. Noticing Liu Tingxiao's line of sight, Zhang Huiye coughed lightly and explained, "This job's too tiring, it's rare to get a break to relax." Liu Tingxiao wasn't bothered by this. He spoke up, "When did you arrive?" "Not too long ago." Zhang Huiye rummaged about for a long while before finally finding a tea bag. However, he didn't have any hot water, so he could only pick up a bottle of mineral water from the fridge. "I don't have any hot water at home yet, is this okay?" "No need, I'll just sit for a while before I go." Liu Tingxiao pointed at the few boxes he had brought over, "Your mother sent these. Then just send someone to bring it over to me, there's no need to trouble you to come personally so late at night." Zhang Huiye grumbled at his own dear mother 100 times in his heart. Why send him over? Didn't she know that he feared this person the most? Fine, there was no need to think, his mother had definitely sent this person to check up on him while clearly knowing that. Chapter 65, A Dreamlike Meeting. "How long will you be staying for?" Liu Tingxiao inquired, using a tone reminiscent of both an elder and a boss to address him. Zhang Huiye sat up straight and answered honestly, "If there aren't any hiccups, I should be staying in China from now on. Although the common practice is to push overseas these few years, but our domestic movie industry has been developing very quickly in recent years. The market is also quite big, going overseas to learn is a must, but I believe I need to return to my roots and develop within our country instead." Liu Tingxiao gave a rare affirmative nod to his words. Zhang Huiye heaved a sigh of relief, then asked with concern, "How has little treasure been lately?" Liu Tingxiao, "Good. Right, I brought toys for him, and some little presents for you. I was preparing to visit you tomorrow. I didn't think that you would come here first. Zhang Wei quickly brought out the presents he had prepared in his luggage. Lu Tingxiao, thanks. And then they went silent. Thus, the sounds of the shower became even clearer. Zhang Wei scratched his head awkwardly. Lu Tingxiao naturally came to an understanding, and stood up after passing on some words. I'm leaving, go back and see your mother when you have the time. Yes, I'll send you. Zhang Wei, like a convict pardoned from death row, had just jumped up to send him out when a furious voice sounded from behind. Zhang Wei, what kind of lousy clothes are these? How am I supposed to wear this with such a big hole in the back? Pub Future ads. Lu Tingxiao had been about to get up and leave, but after hearing that voice, his body froze as if his acupuncture point had been tapped. After 1 second, he slowly turned around, and an icy dagger-like gaze shot towards the source of the voice. The girl was barefoot, her hair was wet, and her cheeks carried a natural blush from the shower. She was standing at the door to the shower, utterly exasperated, wearing a large men's t-shirt. That t-shirt was missing a huge chunk of fabric on the right side of her waist, revealing fair white skin. Zhang Wei didn't notice Lu Tingxiao's expression. He only felt like dying. This guy was already about to leave, couldn't that damned girl just wait a while longer before coming out? I forgot to throw that away after I tore it while riding my bike. There were so many clothes there, why did you have to choose one with a hole in it? Zhang Wei replied her, having nothing to say about her actions. He turned awkwardly to look at Lu Tingxiao and introduced, this is my friend, Ning Xi. Having said so, Zhang Wei suddenly found that Ning Xi's expression was a little strange. She was staring directly at Lu Tingxiao as if she had lost her soul. This damned girl, even if Lu Tingxiao was pretty handsome, she didn't need to stare as if she had never seen a handsome man before, right? Zhang Wei was extremely unhappy inside after seeing Ning Xi like this. His face was stiff as he said, Ning Xi, this is my uncle, the Lu Corporation CEO Lu Tingxiao. Why are you standing there in a daze? Greet him. At this moment, with her hair still dripping wet and her hand still holding onto the missing chunk on the shirt, Ning Xi finally found her voice. With a voice like she was having a strange dream, she insipidly spoke syllable by syllable, Kli. Ning Xi's tone was completely questioning, but in Lu Tingxiao's ears, it became an affirmative tone, as if Ning Xi was calling him uncle. Thus, that expression immediately changed as if the great demon king had just cleansed all 18 levels of hell in blood. A frighteningly cold aura was exuding from his whole body, frightening the two into shivers. This strange aura continued on for quite long before Lu Tingxiao's frosty gaze landed on Ning Xi. The person you were going to pick up, was Mui. Hearing this, Zhang Wei was in a daze. Ning Xi, you're acquainted with my uncle. Chapter 66, You promised to be with me tonight. Ning Xi was about to go crazy over here. She lowered her voice and said, I was about to ask you. How do you know Lu Tingxiao? Zhang Wei, I've already said that he's my uncle. Ning Xi, why didn't you tell me earlier? Zhang Wei, well, you never asked. Ning Xi. Then how do you know my uncle? Zhang Wei's gaze alternated between the two of them. The more he looked, the more he felt that something wasn't right, but he couldn't pinpoint where exactly. It's a long story. Ning Xi held her forehead, feeling fatigued in both body and heart. Those 4 words were directed towards Zhang Wei, and were also a reply to Lu Tingxiao. Zhang Wei had an expression of being full of questions, but with Lu Tingxiao present, he couldn't speak up. Since she had just finished showering, a nice fragrance was wafting off the girl's body. 2 slender, white legs were stretching out from under that baggy t-shirt. One hand was still attempting to cover the hole in the shirt, but it was only making the hole even more conspicuous. This kind of scene sent the blood boiling. The thought of Ning Xi appearing like this in another man's house sent Liu Tingxiao into a state where he wanted to obliterate everything. Even though he had already gone on a rampage in his heart a few times, it had only happened within the span of a few seconds. However, it only showed as a cold expression on Liu Tingxiao's face. He looked askance at Ning Xi and said, "Are you preparing to stay here, or go back with me?" That calm, indifferent sentence held an unseen pressure. Zhang Huiye looked at Ning Xi with an expression full of shock and disbelief upon hearing that. What did he mean by that? These two weren't just acquainted, but were even living together? Ning Xi looked at the frosty cold Liu Tingxiao, then looked at Zhang Huiye, whose eyes were spitting fire. She swallowed her saliva with difficulty. I'll go back." The cold aura around Liu Tingxiao's body lessened by 2 points. However, Zhang Huiye threw a temper on the spot. He suddenly grabbed Ning Xi's wrist. That pair of extremely good-looking light blue eyes were full of nervousness and anger from getting deceived. "You promised to be with me tonight." When he finished speaking, Ning Xi was on the verge of punching him into the sky. "Could you not make it sound like there's something between us, young man?" Pub Future Ads. She raised her head to look at Liu Tingxiao. As expected, that scary expression had reached the point where he could no longer hold it back, as if there was just one last metal bar left before the beast would immediately burst out. Ning Xi took back her hand while she held on to her patience and persuaded, "Huiye, I need to go to work tomorrow. Didn't Ming Ji say that you had something to do tomorrow morning? Let's wait till we're both free, then I'll come back and play games with you, okay?" Ning Xi placed special emphasis on the words play games. Saying so, she quickly took up her large black duffel bag, covered the hole at her waist, and escaped this forsaken land as if she was fleeing for her life, without even stopping to change out of the shirt. Liu Tingxiao sent a meaningful look to Zhang Huiye before following Ning Xi. After seeing the two leaving one after another, and with Liu Tingxiao's look before he had left, fire burned deep in Zhang Huiye's eyes. Damn it! No wonder that woman had known so quickly that the road was blocked. "Ning Xi, how much have you been hiding from me?" Currently, Ning Xi was trembling with fear and trepidation as she walked back. Her hands were suddenly lightened of their load. Liu Tingxiao was helping to carry the bag in her arms. Following that, something heavy fell on her shoulders as Liu Tingxiao took off his jacket and placed it on her shoulders. "Thank you," Ning Xi thanked him awkwardly. Liu Tingxiao had no reaction. It would have been better if he had some reaction. As long as he reacted, then she would have some way to deal with it, but it was this kind of non-reaction that would make people feel nervous. Chapter 67, Kiss Under the Moonlight. In the Lu residence. After returning to the room and changing into her own pajamas, Ning Xi flew like a lightning bolt and ran to find the little bun. "Little treasure, Auntie's a little scared of the dark today, can I sleep with you?" The little bun was extremely welcoming, of course. He happily gave up more than half the space on his bed for her. "Thank you darling, good night darling. You're this Auntie's protection amulet, I'm going to count on you to save my life tonight." Everything that had happened today had been too exciting. Her little heart was still beating rapidly even now. After today's events, she could feel that the thin, hazy barrier between her and Liu Tingxiao had become so fragile that it could break with a single touch. If it really did break, then she really wouldn't know what to do then. Luckily, the little bun in her embrace served as a great sedative. After her heart thumped for half an hour, she slowly fell asleep. Ning Xi had the little bun as her sedative, but someone was finding it hard to sleep alone. In the late night, the smoke in the study had become so thick that it was like heavy fog. No wonder Cheng Feng had not been able to find the identities of the two people who had sent Ning Xi those gifts that day on set. One of them was actually a hidden traitor. Corrupted Devil King. It was only now that he recalled that they had a family group chat, and Zhang Huiye used this strange nickname there. He hadn't connected the dots together previously. As for the man who signed off as YS, there were no leads as of yet. In the dark, the man stubbed his cigarette, stood up and left the room. He pushed the door of the guest room lightly, and saw that it was empty. Lu Tingxiao's brows shifted slightly. He turned and looked to the room next door. As expected, Ning Xi was hugging little treasure and sleeping soundly. This girl was pretty clever. Pub future ads. However, did she really think that they were done just like that? Lu Tingxiao walked up to the small bed, and lightly took away the little hand that little treasure was using to grab onto her clothes. He swapped in a soft toy, then directly carried Ning Xi away. While in dreamland, little treasure frowned and his little hand searched around for something, before grabbing onto the plush. After he had finished deceiving his son, Lu Tingxiao directly brought her to the master bedroom. With gentle motions, he placed her on the bed, then sat by the bedside. He gently caressed the girl's silken locks with slightly calloused hands, then her eyes, and her cheeks. Like a beast before its meal, he was extremely patient, yet relishing this moment before the meal. Finally, he gave a sigh and covered those soft lips with his own, dipping in, exploring, melding their mouths together. It was as sweet as he had imagined. He then moved to her cheeks, her earlobes, and slid across her neck. Finally, he stopped at her collarbone. In the past 32 years of his life, he had never fallen in love with anybody, and had thought that love was meaningless to him. To him, romantic love was probably the most useless thing. So what if he had no lust and no love? Did it really matter that much anyway? He had never thought that love would, one day, barge into his life in this manner. This girl who was 8 years younger, had made him complete. Life was no longer about cold plans and hard numbers, but it was filled with softness, longing, warmth, sweetness, satisfaction. Accompanying those, however, were anger, ruthlessness, impulsiveness, desire. Upon thinking of the scene he had seen at Zhang Mui's place, the ruthless side of him immediately leapt out of its cage. He unconsciously applied more pressure, and in the next second, the smell of blood blossomed between their interlocked lips. The girl beneath him frowned and Lu Tingxiao's back stiffened. However, he only watched her smack her lips before she returned to deep slumber. Completely heartless and thoughtless. Lu Tingxiao used his fingertip to touch her moist, swollen lips. Fire burned in his pupils and he had the urge to ignore all consequences and wake her up with a kiss. Chapter 68, I'm so angry, but I need to keep my smile on. Ning Xi slept all night until she woke up naturally the next morning. She had slept so well last night that it felt like something wasn't right. Why did a part of her tongue hurt? Did she bite herself while dreaming last night? Was it too savage that she had bitten herself? At breakfast, everything was normal. Seeing how Lu Tingxiao was dressed, it seemed like he was going back to work today. He was impeccably attired in Western-style clothing, sitting there like an aristocrat having his coffee and reading the newspapers. His expression was as cold and distant as usual, as if nothing had happened last night. Ning Xi heaved a sigh of relief, and somehow felt that she was being too sensitive. Lu Tingxiao might harbor some sort of vague feelings towards her, but it wasn't to the point that he would get jealous for her, right? Especially with his own nephew. Lu Tingxiao's expression was rather normal, but the little bun's was not. Early in the morning, the little bun had been carrying a stiff expression and had been sulking about, as if someone had snatched something away from him. Ning Xi placed a steamed dumpling in the little bun's bowl and inquired caringly, "Darling, what happened? Are you unhappy?" The little bun glanced at his dear daddy, who was pretending as if nothing had happened, and he grew even angrier. However, upon remembering that Auntie Xiao Xi loved seeing his smile the most, he worked hard to raise the corners of his lips, indicating that he was fine. "I'm so angry, but I need to keep my smile on." After seeing this, Ning Xi finally stopped worrying. She quickly finished her breakfast, then I'm leaving first, both of you, take your time with eating. Today was the day the second male lead would be coming to the set. Thus, it would be best if she reached there early. As she was about to take her bag and leave, Little Bun had walked to her side at some point, and his little hand gripped onto her clothes. Ning Xi was confused, "What's up?" Seeing that she didn't understand, the Little Bun's face was full of grievance. With an expression as if he had lost her favor, he was about to cry out loud. Ning Xi scratched her head and thought for a long while, but couldn't understand what she had done wrong. Finally, she could only send a pleading gaze for help to Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao shot a glance at her, then reminded her in a calm tone, "You forgot to give him the goodbye kiss." Oh, sorry." Ning Xi hit her head, and finally remembered. Pub Future Ads. Little Treasure waved bye to Auntie Xiao Xi, then turned around and faced his dear daddy. That cute little face immediately carried an extremely angry expression. He seemed to be saying, "Don't think that you're forgiven just because you helped me just now," with his expression. Lu Tingxiao acted as if he didn't notice his son's anger, and sipped some coffee in a calm and collected manner. "Sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to say. If you want to talk to me, then speak up or write it out." Little Treasure was even angrier upon hearing so. Even with Ning Xi's help, his communication ability was only at the level of writing simple words, expressions, and punctuation. He had never written a long sentence before, not to mention opening his mouth to speak. Finally, filled with rage, he wrote a single word in English on his notepad: thief. Lu Tingxiao glanced at that word from the side of his eyes, and pretended not to understand. "What? We've been robbed." This time, Little Treasure was so mad that his cheeks were puffed up. Burying his head into his notepad, he wrote quite a few words agitatedly, and it was even in Chinese: "You stole away Auntie Xiao Xi last night." Looking at that row of words and seeing that Little Treasure had written a proper sentence, grammar and all, Lu Tingxiao was finally satisfied. Putting down his newspaper, he looked at his son and asked with a significant tone, "You don't want Auntie Xiao Xi to become my wife?" "Mine." Little Treasure wrote on the notepad. Lu Tingxiao raised his brows. "Unfortunately, the two of you aren't compatible. You're younger than her by 19 years. Don't tell me you want her to wait that long for you to grow up." Little Treasure lowered his head and started drawing again, and drew an egg that had gone bad. Looking at that lifelike rotten egg, a trace of a smile appeared on Lu Tingxiao's face. "I'm speaking the truth, aren't I?" When he finished saying so, he paused for a moment before continuing with a bewitching tone, "However, if she becomes my wife, it'll be different. She'll become your mother." "Mother." Hearing that word, the Little Bun froze for a moment. He looked down in deep thought, his inner struggle and wavering thoughts clear on his little face. Chapter 69, So Handsome My Legs Are Wobbly. The cast and crew were the same as usual, there weren't any changes due to the second male lead's pending arrival. A group of young ladies were surrounding the male lead, Zhao Sizhu. Their faces were full of admiration as they listened to him recount his moments of glory in the entertainment circle. Jia Qingqing and Ning Suoluo had become even closer and closer, and were currently discussing the diamond bracelet her father had just bought for her in high spirits. Only Ning Xi was looking here and there, since she had too many scenes with the second male lead. The second male lead's skills would have a huge effect on her work. Jia Qingqing showed off the sparkling diamond bracelet on her wrist, her expression clearly looking down on Ning Xi. "Suoluoji, look at how she's so eagerly waiting for that man to come. She really believed the director's words. Does she think that a good actor will come just because she's waiting like that?" Ning Suoluo had a helpless expression upon hearing this. She said in a displeased tone, "Oh, you, don't keep criticizing Ning Xi. She has the most scenes with the second male lead, it's natural that she'll be more concerned about him. Heh, there really are quite a few of them, and there are so many kissing and bed scenes. Luckily, I didn't take that role at the start, otherwise I'd be getting taken advantage of." Jia Qingqing was rejoicing. After she finished saying so, she looked enviously at Ning Suoluo. Suoluoji still has it the best. Your boyfriend's so handsome, and your partner's also so handsome. At this moment, the director Guo Qishan's excited voice sounded from the entrance of the set. Come come come, everyone come over. Our second male lead, the actor for the godly Dr. Sun Huanqing is here. Everyone come and greet him. The cast and crew returned scattered replies, and Zhao Sis, who had absolutely no intention of getting up. The young ladies were also still surrounding him, fighting to let him read their palms. Jia Qingqing gave a tisk full of disdain, and didn't even bother looking over. Ning Suoluo touched up her makeup before getting up and persuading her, we should still go over and greet him, we're all colleagues here. It was only then that Jia Qingqing reluctantly followed her out of the break room. Ning Xi had naturally sprinted over at the first moment, and was reaching her head out to look. In the next second, her whole body froze as if she had been struck by divine lightning. The guy next to the director was that eye-catching blonde hair. Even if she tried to deceive herself into thinking that she had seen wrongly, it was impossible. Why would the second male lead be that fellow? This couldn't be real. From the direction of the entrance, the errand boy Xiao Li suddenly screamed out loud as if he was getting killed. Pub future ads. Jia Qingqing frowned deeply. Are you crazy? What are you screaming for? Having said so, she glanced over and spotted the man following behind the director. Ah! She also screamed once in shock. What happened? Ning Suoluo asked. Zhang Muye. Suoluoji. It's Zhang Muye. Jia Qingqing clutched Ning Suoluo's arm excitedly. What? Ning Suoluo followed her line of sight. She saw that the director was currently happily walking in front, his attitude polite and caring, while a blonde man was following him from behind. He was wearing a set of extremely trendy high-contrast t-shirt and shorts, one hand stuck in his pocket, his face carried his unique flair of arrogance. He looked like a complete bad boy. When he smiled and looked over, he even revealed some extremely adorable canines. Zhang Muye. The second male lead was actually Zhang Muye. Even Ning Suoluo had been shocked by this result. The young ladies who had been surrounding Zhao Sis, who had already rushed towards the entrance like a pack of hungry wolves by now. Oh! Zhang Muye. Is it really Zhang Muye? Am I turning blind? Quick, pinch me. Heavens! He's really a walking aphrodisiac. He's too handsome. He's so handsome my legs are going wobbly. I even heard that Zhang Muye has granny fans. He's even captured the heart of an 80-year-old granny. Don't block me, it's so rare to see him in person. I'm going to bed him. If I don't bed Zhang Muye at least once in my life, how am I any different from a salted fish? Chapter 70, let's start off a little more exciting. Who was the hottest young guy in the entertainment circle right now? No matter who you asked, they would tell you that it's Zhang Muye. Jia Qingqing was still unable to accept reality up to now. She paced about and said, did they make a mistake somewhere? Wasn't Zhang Muye filming overseas? Even if he came back, why would he take such a small role as the second male lead? Ning Suoluo muttered lowly, I heard that Zhang Muye refuses to take any role other than the male lead. Moreover, the main sponsor for this film is Starlight Entertainment, so why would he come here as a golden age artiste? Although she had been celebrating moments ago that she wouldn't get taken advantage of, Jia Qingqing was now close to going crazy. Damn it! How did it turn out like this? How is Ning Xi's luck so good? Zhang Muye should have been mine. It's all because she took my role so shamelessly. The people watching around her sympathized after seeing her expression, and weren't at all surprised by her frenzy. It was because everyone in the entertainment circle knew that Jia Qingqing loved Zhang Muye, and had even publicly confessed to him through her Weibo previously. Although Zhang Muye had completely ignored her, she would still frequently post about news related to Zhang Weiyue on her Weibo like an ardent fan. Guo Qixin used tremendous strength and finally got that group of crazy ladies settled down. He couldn't resist teasing, "Weiyue, look at how you've already gotten the ladies of our crew wrapped around your finger. Handsome guys really are treated better." Zhang Weiyue played along and joked, "Director, haven't you heard? All of them just want to bed me, so you have to protect me, okay? Ha ha ha. No worries, your partner is the war goddess Meng Chang'e, she'll protect you." "Oh yes, where's Ning Xi?" She kept asking who her second male lead would be, how come she's disappeared now? Guo Qixin looked all over for her. Zhang Weiyue had a faint trace of a smile on his lips, "Maybe she was scared away by me." "That might be possible, almost all the girls in this country are your fans. Maybe Ning Xi is one too, and she's suffered a shock from seeing her idol." Guo Qixin smiled as he spoke. As the two were talking, Ning Xi was walking over. In a short amount of time, the expression on Ning Xi's face had already become flawless. She smiled as she reached her hand out to the person she was facing. "Senior Zhang, nice to meet you. I'm Ning Xi. I'm honored to be working with you." Although Ning Xi was the same age as Zhang Weiyue, since Zhang Weiyue had entered the industry earlier, he was her senior and she had to be respectful towards him. "Nice to meet you." Zhang Weiyue's lips curled up. He reached out to shake her hand lightly, but in the next second, he almost threw her hand away without caring about his image. Pub Future ads. This damned girl, she had almost crushed the bones in his hand. Zhang Weiyue struggled to hold onto his cool expression, and acted as if a sudden realization had hit him. "Ah, Ning Xi, so it's you. Oh? Do you know each other?" Guo Qixin was surprised upon hearing so. It wasn't just the director, but the rest of the cast and crew had focused their gazes on Zhang Weiyue. Zhang Weiyue smiled with hidden meaning. "Of course we know each other." Hearing that ambiguous tone and seeing the strange looks that everyone directed at her, Ning Xi was so angry that her hands started shaking. She was almost unable to hold back the raging urge to pummel him. Seeing that Ning Xi's face was almost turning white from anger, Zhang Weiyue finally spoke up slowly, "We worked together on the set of Blue Bird previously." "Oh? How come I've never heard Ning Xi mention that before?" Guo Qixin was taken aback. Ning Xi felt like she had just escaped death, her back was covered in sweat. She replied meekly, "Director Guo, I was just the stunt double for the female lead then, it's amazing that Senior Zhang remembers me." Guo Qixin was amused upon hearing so, "Oh my, I didn't think that the two of you would have fate like this. That's great, since you've worked together before and you know each other, I don't think you'll need to warm up. Let's start with a little more exciting and go with a confrontation scene, shall we?" Ning Xi, a confrontation scene? More exciting? Director, please don't do this. They're not familiar. Zhang Weiyue smiled happily, "Sure." Ning Xi felt like reaching out and plucking out those evil little canines.